Hello guys. So in last lecture we understand what is SAP MM and how we can choose career in SAP MM if we are working in different relevant sectors. From this lecture we'll start the actual implementation for the SAP material management module. The first lecture we are going to cover the theory part, that is enterprise structure. So in this lecture we'll understand how the business will provide the requirement for the organization structure they already have and how we can map in SAP the same organization structure. This is the starting point we can consider for the SAP functional consultant, especially SAP MM functional consultant, to start the configuration in SAP actual system. So firstly we'll understand what is organization structure or the enterprise structure. So in simple term, it is a framework according to which business are conducting. So for example, if you see this diagram, so business will provide their structure, organization structure, how they are currently working in different sectors or different business sector, how their enterprise is actually working against the structure. For example, you can see here there is one corporate group. Below that, there is one company, then there is a factory, then purchasing department, then storage location. So this is the current structure against which they are conducting the business. So same structure we need to maintain in SAP. To understand this in a simple manner, consider there is a Tata group or corporate group. We all know there is a company called Tata. So below that company, there are different business sector. For example, Tata Steel, Tata FMCG, TCS, Tata Motors. These are different business sector. So if you consider one business sector, which is nothing but Tata Steel, so they will have one factory where actual manufacturing is going on, right? Which we call plant in SAP. Then to store the material whichever manufactured or prepared or created, we'll store that material at some location. That is nothing but in SAP we call it storage location. Wherever that purchasing activity is going on to procure the raw material or some services, that is carried out under the purchasing department. So that purchasing department will map it as a purchasing organization in SAP under the SAP MM organization structure. And person who is responsible for buying goods, we call it as a purchasing group in SAP. So in simple terms, if we go back to this diagram, business will provide or explain their current organization structure. On the left hand side, you can see this is their current organization structure. Same structure we need to create in SAP application, because now we are implementing SAP over their existing application, whichever they are using, like ERP or Tally or anything else. So in SAP, we have some specific name for each and every enterprise object. For example, corporate group, we call it client. Then company, we call it as company code. Factory, we call it plant. Purchase department, we call it purchasing organization. Buyer who is responsible for buying goods, we call it as a purchasing group. And location, wherever we are storing the material, we call it as a storage location. So these all things we need to create in SAP applications. So from next lecture, we'll start configuring this all the objects in SAP. This needs zero coding knowledge. It's just the pure functional part. Just we need to understand this scenario, whichever I am explaining it, a simplest one for the practicing purpose. But in actual practice, business will provide different scenarios against their enterprise structure, how they are currently working or how their framework is there to conduct the business. So that framework or their organization structure or their enterprise structure, you have to map it in SAP. For SAP, what are the steps, what are the transactions codes we are using to create all these enterprise related structure or object, that will start learning from the next lecture. So this is just the theory part about the enterprise structure. So mainly these green highlighted objects we need to create from the MM point of view, material management point of view. One is plant, then storage location, then purchasing organization, and then purchasing group. Company and company code will be created or taken care by the finance and controlling person in actual scenarios. Okay. And client is a completely technical part that will be created or maintained by the basis team. So from next lecture, we'll start configuring all this organization object against the actual organization object which is provided by the business team. Step by step, we'll see all the configuration which is required to create enterprise structure. Okay.